Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning, good night, good evening. Welcome to another BEJ live stream. Again, this is not the official BEJ live streaming channel. That channel, you can find the link to that channel in the description down below. So we live stream on that channel daily at 10 a.m. GST. So if you wanna, check out those live streams, all you gotta do is check the link down below, subscribe to the main live streaming channel, the official live streaming channel. Check that one out, and then you can join us daily, right, at 10 a.m. GST. So today is a little bit different. We have a live guest. Some of you guys may recall this individual. His initial Melanated Files interview was released last year, August, and he came to Japan as an English teacher, right? But he's a mechanical engineer, right? So he harbored this ambition of one day, right, becoming a mechanical engineer in Japan. But when he initially came, he was an English teacher. So we're gonna share his story with you guys today. I have him on the show. He's gonna be coming on and sharing, giving us an update as to how he finally, right, made the transition from teaching English to being to getting, I should say, a job as a mechanical engineer in Japan. So we're gonna get Stephen Estelle on. He's gonna share that journey with us. If you guys want to see the previous episode, just check the link in the description down below, and you'll see his journey. And it's funny because when Stephen reached out to us in 2018, right? That was the first contact, expressing interest, to come to Japan. And when he started doing his research to make the transition, he was thinking about coming to Japan. He had some doubts, right? He said he gave up searching for like 2 weeks, right before he finally, finally decided, you know what? If this is something I want, I just got to go after it. And he had an opportunity, though it wasn't what he was trained in, right? He was an engineer, but he got a job as an English teacher, and that was the vehicle that he took to come to Japan. And finally, he's been there now for 1 year and 3 months, and now he has a job in Okinawa, Japan, as a mechanical engineer. So let's hear his story from the interview that we conducted to where he is right now. So, Stephen, are you ready, sir?
Hey, I'm
How you
back.
doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really good.
All right, nice. Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember, last year we did that interview in Odaiba, right? And you were
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
to
yeah,
me
yeah.
that, yeah, you were saying that you brought your master's thesis here because you were hopeful that you'd have the opportunity to work on it in Japan, all right?
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, that was
Right,
good.
and you were an English teacher, but now you're officially in your field and you're enjoying it. Tell us about that. Tell us about what transpired from the time we did the interview last year to now.
Yeah, so the story, actually, funny enough, I think it was maybe 2 weeks after that interview
Yeah.
that everything kicked off. It was like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so I'll try to condense it really quickly.
Yeah.
But
Before into yeah, introduce yourself and then you
oh
get
yeah,
into the
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Okay. That's
Okay,
okay.
so again, I came to Japan in January 2019, and the whole plan, I finished my master's in mechanical engineering in Los Angeles,
Hmm.
and I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to visit Japan, and the goal was to get an engineering job in another country.
Yeah.
So my master plan was start as an English teacher, and then from there learn Japanese, hopefully learn or complete the JLPT N2 so
Yeah.
I could be proficient in Japanese, and then transition into like a salaryman kind of engineering job in Tokyo.
Yeah.
That was like the ideal plan. And so yeah, I took the jump and I just moved to Tokyo with some money I saved. And uh, I mean, Japan has been good from that point on. So that's like my background of how I came to Japan.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, do you want me to tell the
So
story or what should
yeah,
I
yeah.
say?
So you said, so let's back up a little bit. So you said before you gave up for 2 weeks. You said, right, when you were thinking about coming to Japan. Why did you give up again? What was the reason behind that?
Yeah, because it kind of seemed like a very far-fetched idea
Okay.
because I feel like just looking online, trying to do research, I feel like there's a lot of people who are either saying it's too hard, they
Mm-hmm.
don't welcome foreigners,
Mm-hmm.
or you'll hear stories of people who tried it themselves
Yeah.
and it worked out badly. But that could be because maybe they didn't prepare or many other reasons. But
So that discouraged you, you said.
yeah, because like I don't I like when I first came here, I didn't know how they see foreigners who don't know Japanese too well.
Okay.
And especially being an African American foreigner too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of curious, like, am I going to be welcomed in? And then I heard there's like hierarchies if you're like not a citizen versus like somebody from abroad. There's like different things, all these different variables that I was thinking about. But what kind of drove me forward was like, I feel like if it's your dream to do something, you gotta be willing to take some risk for your dream.
Yeah.
Calculated risk, of course. You got to plan
Sometimes.
ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right? Like, I'm not gonna move to Japan with $0 in my wallet, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you gotta.
So so you saw a lot of negativity information, right?
Yeah,
And you gave up for about 2 weeks, you said, but you
yeah,
remembered, you reminded yourself that, you know what, this is something I want to do, and then it reignited your interest, and your desire, so you just kept going, right?
yes,
And then you
yeah.
landed the English teaching job. How did you secure that position?
So for the English teaching job, it was actually I feel like that was actually kind of lucky too, because mainly because of the location.
Hmm.
Because I was looking at different companies to apply for,
Okay.
and I applied to three companies. The first company, they didn't accept me,
Hmm.
and then the second company, they were saying we just need English teachers, and if you're accepted, we'll just throw you anywhere in Japan,
Okay.
Hokkaido, wherever. And then the third company specifically said we're looking for English teachers in Kanto,
Okay.
and I wanted to go to Tokyo because that's where like engineering is like blowing up in Japan.
Okay.
And the company that was hiring for Kanto, that was one of the companies that accepted me.
Okay.
And they said, all right, where in Kanto do you want to live? And immediately I said, Tokyo, I mean in Shinjuku. I want to be in the city with the night neon lights. I want to be in the downtown area. And luckily, I had the opportunity to be placed right smack dab in the middle of Tokyo.
In Shinjuku.
And it was phenomenal. It was great.
Okay, cool. So guys, welcome. I see that, we got some people on. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming on. So what you guys, so just to give you guys again, just a synopsis really quickly. So Stephen, mechanical engineer, right, wanted to do that in Japan, but he could not locate a job from back in the States. So what he did was he took English teaching position as the vehicle, came to Japan, and was still looking for the position that he wanted, his dream job of being a mechanical engineer in Japan. Someone was asking, Stephen, like, how much money did you save up before you made the move? Approximately.
Oh, shoot. So there's a couple things to think about that because let's say hypothetically you get a job in Japan,
Hmm.
they probably won't pay you until 1 month of working. So, and this also depends on what city you're in. But I
Yeah.
think for me, I want to guess. I think I saved about like $5,000.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
and I've been planning this for like a long time, but
Hmm.
that I had a big cushion behind that actually. So I could have done it with kind of less, but
Yeah.
um, the reason why $5,000 was one-way ticket to Japan, it's like $1,000. Um, 1 month of living without working, I would say that's about 2,000 total. It
Okay.
depends on how you live, so that's like three total.
Hmm.
And then the other 2,000 is for like you have to buy stuff to get like into Japan, like furniture, You might need to buy uniform, like a nice, dress clothes.
Yeah.
You need to pretty much, you need to get settled.
Yeah.
And for rent, you have to pay like deposit, key money, all this stuff that just
Yeah.
collects you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So ultimately,
Yeah.
5,000 was
Yeah,
around.
I think 5,000 is a decent amount for a single person, but some people, like, I've
Yeah,
had interviews where people came here with just $500. So,
yeah,
like, but if you want to be comfortable, I think 5,000 is a decent amount, right? And especially if you look for a place that's not that expensive initially. Okay, so you have the English teaching job now, right?
yeah.
We met up, we did the interview, and you said, you know what, you got your master's thesis. You went to Toyota actually for a position
I
in mechanical
tried.
engineering,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
said you fell short on the Japanese proficiency because you weren't as fluent as they needed you to be, so you
yeah,
couldn't handle that position. So tell us
yeah.
from that point now. So let's
So
bring in. Are you playing the audio? I'm hearing a feedback. Are you playing it? The audio on your side
yeah,
at
I can
all?
hear everything.
Oh, only
Yeah,
in your headphones, right? It's only in your
yeah, yeah,
headphones?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, because I'm hearing myself. Okay, so now
Turn it down.
talk to us about how you made the transition from English teaching to finally mechanical engineering in Japan.
So the final transition. Okay, so I'll continue then from the day after that interview that we did. So at that interview, I was saying that I was trying all these interviews in Japan companies.
Yeah.
None of them worked. None. And I applied for probably like 25. Um,
Okay.
so at that point, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna focus on JLPT. I'm not gonna apply for any more till maybe next fiscal year.
Okay.
The break came like the end of July. Um, so what happened is, I have my master's thesis online. It's on my
Mhm.
school website. People could search for it, and it's pretty neat. And what ended up happening was a professor from Germany
Okay.
found it. I He's doing research in the same field, and he was looking for resources, and he found it. And he asked me if he can have one of my models, right? And so just to give a perspective, the model that I made, some people could have sold it, right? Because I guess it was a model that I developed and everything, and I guess
Mhm.
I kind of have a monopoly because it was what I made.
Okay.
But because it's in the research field, and I know people are trying to research for the betterment of society, I said, you can have it for free. I want
Okay.
you to do well. I want you to prosper.
Mhm.
He was like really grateful, like, oh, thank you. And so then in the back of my mind, I was like, let me ask him a question. I was like, hey, do you know any engineers in Japan? And he was like, funny enough, I'm actually in Akihabara right now.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I'm in
Yeah.
Akihabara right now, and I was like, what are you doing in Akihabara? I live in Shinjuku. This is a guy from Germany, and he was
Mhm.
like, well, I'm here for a science convention for my research for 2 days only.
Okay.
He emailed me when he was in Tokyo. It was very coincidental,
Mhm.
and I said like, what are the odds? Let's meet up. Let's go to Tolly's Coffee. And I'll show you the design. I'll send you. I actually have the 3D printed model. I'll show you it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "That's crazy. Yeah, let's do it. What are you doing in Tokyo?" We kind of had a little like excited conversation on email. But anyways, the next day he finished his convention. We meet at Tolly's in Akihabara. I brought my box with all my master's thesis stuff,
Yeah.
and he was like a really exciting guy. We got along really well. He was excited about what I had. I was excited about what he was doing, and we were talking. And he was like, "Hey, so, it seems like you're doing some really good stuff here." He was asking me questions, and I told him, "Yeah, it's really good, but my issue is that I want to get a patent one day, and I don't have the money. Patents are
Okay.
mad expensive, like
Mm.
10 grand plus, lawyer fees and all this stuff." And after hearing that, he was like, "You know what? I could help you out."
Okay.
And this is where things develop. And he gave me two options, kind of. Option number one, he works at a research facility in Germany. And he said, I could potentially get you funded to work with me in Germany.
Wow.
Option two, my best friend is opening a lab in Okinawa, and he needs an engineer.
Oh wow.
And his lab starts September 1st, and we were talking, it's like late July.
Mhm.
And he said, let's play with these possibilities, see what happens. And I was like, of course, yes, let's do this, let's go. So we talked for a little bit, we exchanged information, and he goes back to his hometown, and we're here. He introduces me to his friend. So now two things are playing. He is putting my information through the application process in Germany,
Okay.
and he gave me his information to his friend in Okinawa, and me and him are talking.
Mhm.
So the big thing here we have to see is, do they have funding to pay for an engineer? So what ends up happening, the friend in Okinawa, me and him are talking. He says, my lab is opening. My best friend from college, he sent me your information, said you're a cool guy,
Yeah.
good energy, and you got a good head on your shoulders. Let's play with this opportunity. Since you're in Japan already, you got a visa. Like, that's half the battle right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
if I get money, come through. So he said, I'll know for sure in December. I'll follow back up with you in December. That's that one, option one.
Mhm.
Option for Germany, he said, hey, currently I'm going through different things. I'll let you know what happens. I'll follow back up with you in January.
Okay.
I said, okay. All fall, just enjoying Tokyo, Halloween, everything. Tokyo is good. Come,
The good old days, man. The good old days
yeah,
before COVID-19. The
it
good
was
old days
so
before
nice.
COVID-19,
It was
bro.
so nice, right? Freaking, Shibuya Halloween, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a dream now.
Yeah. Right.
It was so
Right.
nice. Oh man, we took it for granted. But
Indeed.
so holiday season comes around, and I remember this very clearly because I was actually in my lunch break at work, and I get an email from the professor in Okinawa, and he says, "Hey Stephen, how are you? Um, I secured some funding. Um, are you interested in Okinawa?" And I was like, you want to take it professional, of course, but I wanted to show my excitement. But I
Yeah.
said like, yeah, of course, I want to come as soon as possible. Bring me over like tomorrow. And he was like, oh, I'm excited. You want to come? Great. We don't have to worry about visas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're already in Tokyo.
Just a plane ticket. Just fly over there, bro.
Literally, right? Like, this is a plane ticket. So,
Yeah.
so he was like, that's terrific. And so we arranged everything. We talked about contracts. We talked about living expenses, all this stuff.
Hmm.
And he connects me with the HR of the institution I'm at. And he says, all right, here's the plan. It's January now.
Hmm.
We will fly you down late February,
Okay.
do orientation, introduce you to the lab.
Hmm.
And then your start date will be April 1st. How does that sound? And I said, that sounds perfect. And I signed the contract.
Okay. So you spoke to the. So right now you were still an English teacher, right, in Tokyo.
Yes.
Oh, so you gave them the notice, you did all that stuff, got that out of the
Hmm.
way, and then you came over to Okinawa, right? And you're in
Yes,
Okinawa currently.
I am right now.
Okay. So just to backtrack just a little bit, you said you
Yeah.
had your master's thesis on the internet. So it wasn't a site that was specific to Japan. It was just generally like an engineering like forum or website, right?
Yeah, it was my university website.
Okay, so that's a coincidence then. That the guy was okay. So the guy was in Akihabara, and you were in Tokyo and you saw that, but you never knew that you were
Yeah,
in Japan.
he didn't. It was literally
Okay,
California, Los Angeles. He thought I was in
okay,
Los Angeles.
okay, that's fate, man. That's fate. Okay,
Dude,
so
it
now,
was
okay, so have you
crazy.
started working in the company? Are you the first engineer there right now in Okinawa at that company?
Well, no, it's a giant research institution, so
Okay.
there's a bunch of labs. But
Hmm.
for my lab that I'm in right now, um, it's an international research institution.
Okay.
So besides my boss, I'm the only American in my lab, and we have like a
Okay.
group of like 20 people.
Okay. And how do you like it so far? What is it like? What has it been like being in Okinawa from Tokyo? Because people
Man,
hear me championing Okinawa, man. So I don't know if they understand
man,
how nice Okinawa is. Y'all are missing out. Tell them about Okinawa. Tell
man,
them about it.
man. Let me tell
Tell them.
y'all, dude, man. Let me just tell you this. Oh, shoot. So, where do I even start? Like coming from Tokyo. Like,
Yeah.
I will say this. I'll first start off with this. I miss some stuff about Tokyo. So I'll
Okay.
start on that side. I miss the neon lights. I miss having freaking like 8 family marts in view from a street
Mm.
corner. You know,
Mm.
I miss the tall skyscrapers, and I miss Shinjuku, Godzilla, all that. I miss
Hmm.
it. It's great. Food is everywhere.
I miss Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like an iconic, man. Shinjuku was cool. So
Okay.
I will say I miss that.
Hmm.
Now for Okinawa though. So first of all, cost of living is cheap compared to Tokyo. So apartment, double the size, half the cost. That's already amazing. Next, in Okinawa, so you have to have a car. So I was able to get a very cheap, small little Japanese car.
Hmm.
And dude, just driving down the street next to the ocean, clear skies, the water is
Yep.
crystal clear, man. Like down the block from my place, I literally can walk through the ocean to another island. It's literally just like another
Okay.
island is a 20-minute walk. Like I was there yesterday. like
Oh
like
wow.
it's literally like right there, and
Yeah.
it's empty. So like
Yeah.
when you come from a crowded city like Tokyo, when you're like
Yeah.
on the what's the line, the Yamanote line,
Hmm.
at 6 p.m. and you're crowded inside of a little cart
Yeah.
versus like being able to stand outside and not see a single person in
Hmm.
360 view.
Yeah.
Like it makes you just feel more at ease. You're not stressed out. People aren't pushing you. And in Shinjuku, I live next to a firehouse, so it was
Okay.
very very loud all the time.
Hmm.
And now I live kind of in the countryside of Okinawa, and I actually live next to some chicken farms. So
Okay.
I would hear like
Okay.
chickens. But the ocean is nice. The people are more relaxed here.
Indeed.
Um, I think there's actually a saying that Okinawa has a ridiculous life expectancy.
Oh yeah, it is because when people talk about life expectancy with Japan, Okinawa has the oldest like population in Japan. So if you're talking about old
Yeah,
Japanese people, it's Okinawa. That's where the oldest people
yeah,
are. Hmm.
dude, it makes sense. Nobody's stressed here.
Yeah,
Like,
it's look, bro. I love Okinawa. Okay, look, you saw the videos. You saw the videos, right? You saw the videos. No, it's a wonderful place, man. And I think, yeah, you don't have all the neon lights and stuff like that, but I feel like it's a place where you can get the Japanese experience. You can get, and also there's an American culture there as well.
yeah,
And then you have the Okinawan culture, so it's like an amalgam of all three, which is pretty cool. It's pretty chill. The island life as well. You got the beaches, the food. It's beautiful, man. So, what
yeah,
has your experience been so far working at the company that you are in? It's the job you were looking for. Like fate just had you there. You took a leap of faith coming to Japan
yeah.
as an English teacher, even though it wasn't what you wanted to do, but you saw that this was an opportunity, a vehicle that would get you here. And then, so you took that leap of faith, and now you're actually in a position that you like. What has the experience been so far in that position?
Man, so I've been here for about a little bit longer than 2 weeks, like
Okay.
actually working since April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
and like the institution, they really take care of their employees.
Okay.
Like like it's such a nice place. Um, so far my experience has been amazing. The projects I'm working on, I'm actually like today's Sunday, and like I'm actually excited to go to work tomorrow because I get to build like what I want to do. Like I can't wait to like I want to work now, but like you need to take a break from work, of course. But
Yeah.
but I'm excited because I can't wait to like work with the tools we have again. And so there's I'm like excited to actually do the work, and then the people in the group,
Mm-hmm.
because it's such an international group of people,
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool to hear about their perspectives about just everything. People from Germany, Russia, Mexico, the UK, and not only are we talking about different engineering from around the world, which is what I really want to do, is
Mm-hmm.
engineer with people around the world, but we get to talk about just like human stuff too. Like, coronavirus is a big thing. There's some Italians here, people from France, different point of views,
Yeah.
what they think about America, what they think about the USA, things like that. Um, or even just having simple conversations about like, oh, like I was talking to some people from Italy and Germany, and they were talking about their cheese, and they're just like, I tried American cheese, and it's terrible. Just like simple conversations like that, because they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
we have like 100 types of cheese, and just conversations like that, and like the whole company, everybody has to speak English, so
Mm-hmm.
there's no language barrier for me, luckily, and I feel like also since it's so close to my apartment, it's only a 5-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
The commuting time is non-existent, and they really value your work-life balance,
Okay.
which was another big concern when I came to Japan,
Mm-hmm.
was getting a job in Tokyo and like losing my mind. That was one of my like red flags.
Yeah.
But this research institution, since it's westernized, they tell their employees work at 9, get out at 5. If you need to finish something, go for it. But really, leave. And then during working hours, they have like meditation sessions. You could take
Mm-hmm.
classes to learn Japanese. Like they actually want you to learn because they want their employees to be wise and like healthy.
Nice.
So
So, mhm.
yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, so pretty much all in all, it's just everybody I see there just seems like they are doing well. Like they're not stressed. Of course, there's harder times when projects need to be due, but I guess on average, if you look at all the companies that I've heard of in Japan,
Yeah.
I feel like this company is very, very relaxed and very aware of mental stability and mental health.
Okay. So going forward, like, what's your ambition right now? So you're in a role that you like, you love it actually. You can't wait to go to work. Um,
Yeah.
like, what's your ambition going forward? Like, maybe the next 3 to 5 years from now.
So here's another, I guess, fate. So the institute that I'm at,
Yeah.
they're still growing, trying to make new laboratories. And the next laboratory that they're trying to open is for innovation and company starting.
Okay.
They, you see where I'm. So I remember day one of orientation, they're like, yeah, so our institution, we really want to promote entrepreneurs. We want people to start companies here. We want people to embrace the relationship between America and Europe and Okinawa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that and I was like, huh, I want to start a company.
Okay.
And he
Okay.
was like, really? And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay. So he was like, well, here's this group of people at this university. Talk to them when you start working and see if you can get funding to start your company.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that might be
The
the
next
next
step.
step. Yes.
Okay. So okay. So tell the people, how do you feel? Because I'm looking at the journey. right? For instance, from the desire to move to Japan, the
Yeah.
uncertainty, right? And then, like overriding that,
Yeah.
accepting a position that's not in your field, but it would get you to Japan. And then from
Mm.
that place to where you are now, what lesson, right, has grown out of that that you can impart to people who are watching right now?
Ooh. Two things come to mind. Two things right here. So the first one is, I guess, relatively simple. Um, I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw it. I actually got it from Steve Harvey, and he has this whole speech about jumping.
Jump.
You know,
Okay.
right?
There's a book about
So
it too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that idea of like playing it safe or jumping, so you
Hmm.
could soar.
Yeah.
That idea mixed in with a little bit of, I like what Gary Vee has to say about being in your 20s, being the time where you should be doing very risk things,
Hmm.
uh, with like little responsibilities. So I combine those two. I'm like, all right, I'm 25,
Hmm.
24, whatever.
Hmm.
Shoot, I'm gonna give it a shot. You know, I saved up. I prepared appropriately in school. So that was number one. Take that
Yeah.
chance, jump, and prepare accordingly. And then number two, this is probably what kind of gives me faith. Um, so the phrase goes, it's something like this. It's like the bird sits on the top of the branch not
Hmm.
because it's confident that the tree branch won't break, but it sits on top of the branch because it's confident in its own ability to react accordingly. Meaning, he is well aware that things can go wrong, but he
Hmm.
is so confident in his own ability
Hmm.
to react and to fix himself.
Yeah.
The bird is not afraid to sit at the top of the tree.
Okay. So that is about preparation, right? Being ready.
Yeah, so to me, I'm not afraid to take risks
Hmm.
because, like, I know things are going to happen. I know the branch is going to break underneath me. So it's not like I'm confident that it's going to work perfectly, but
Yeah.
I'm confident in my own ability to readjust, like a bird, fly to another branch and to take care of business if the branch were to break from underneath my feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and the thing about it is sometimes it's a hard fall. Nothing works out perfectly. Like for example, this summer I went for the JLPT N5 and I didn't pass, right?
Okay.
Now, when that happened, I was a little bummed out, but like I'm not gonna let one small like trip like mess up this grand scheme of mine, right?
Indeed.
So you just have to realize there are going to be problems, but you just need to have faith in your own ability to counteract those problems.
Yeah, indeed, right? And one thing that you said as well, definitely, man. From even the last interview that we did, you guys can watch it. The link is in the description down below. To just to get like Stephen's story as well, the full interview. And you said even with your masters, when you before you did that, you said to yourself, man, you know what, I'm gonna do it. It's tough, but you went through it, right? You did the work, you
Yeah,
got through it, right? So you have that mindset of just of going after what you want, making it happen, right? So that was evident from that last interview that we did. And one thing that stood out as well in your story is that you said when the guy wanted to use something from your thesis, you just gave it to him. Or you weren't like, man, you got to pay me this money. And maybe that was one of the reasons why he liked you to recommend his friend, right? And then
right.
you did what you did. And it reminded me again of another interview I did with Richie, who has a restaurant in Tokyo, and he spoke about connectivity. So your story, of course, I think will inspire other people who are watching, right? Because, and I remember you reached out to me from California,
Yeah,
right, LA,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
weren't you weren't sure in 2018,
That
and
was
now we're in
crazy.
2020, and you're actually doing what you love, the job you want. You're saying you can't wait to go in tomorrow, and there are people that are watching right now, and you're thinking about it, right? Whether it's moving to Japan or somewhere else, whatever it is, and you have doubt in your mind. If it's something that you know that you want to do, man, You never know. Look at what Stephen did. All right, you weren't sure, but now you're doing exactly what you want. And the vehicle that took you there wasn't the vehicle that you thought would have taken you there. But you felt like
Right.
maybe it's possible. You know what? It's possible. You know what? Let me get on the soil and know you are where you are. So guys, as you said, jump. You gotta jump. It might sound crazy to some people. Don't be over cautious. Yeah, prepare as much as you can, but be willing to take risks and jump, man. Like definitely, I gotta say it. I gotta say it. So your story is inspiring to me. I'm sure your story is inspiring to other people who are watching as well, right? And yeah, man, thank you for sharing it. And
No
of course,
problem.
people can find you on Facebook if they want, and your name is down below because that's the only thing you're on Facebook. So they're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
search for you
it's
on Facebook, right?
Facebook. Yeah, yeah.
But
So
tell
yeah.
tell me about
Mhm.
COVID-19. Wait, you want to say something?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Yeah,
tell me about COVID-19 in Okinawa, right? Because right now Japan is under state of emergency, all 47 prefectures right now. Before it was seven,
yeah.
but now it's 47. What's that like in Okinawa? Compare your
Mm,
experience in Tokyo versus Okinawa for us, really briefly.
Oh man. So I still have a lot of my close friends in Tokyo,
Okay.
and the difference it's a drastic difference between Tokyo versus Okinawa. So of course, you gotta be safe. You do what you need to do. But here's the difference. So Okinawa, because we're an island of an island country, we're
Mm-hmm.
already kind of very isolated.
Okay.
So we do have some cases. I think right now the island of Okinawa is, I think it's, what was it, like 40s or 60s cases so far total. Um, and the thing about it is, many of these cases are tourists.
Okay.
So
Mm.
people on the island are like, close the airports, stop letting these people in, no tourists. But I'm pretty sure Okinawa can't do that because tourism pretty much runs the island.
Okay.
So there's that. But second is I feel safer here because I don't ride public transportation, and that is very key. Tokyo, you're in a train full of thousands of people.
Yep.
The odds of one person having it is extremely high on that
It's
train.
like an incubator. These trains are incubators, right?
Exactly.
You go inside it, you come out. You go inside it okay. You come out with something, man. Like hopefully
It's
not, but
scary. It's very scary.
okay.
So like here, I'm in a car. If I take my car to work, I go to work. But we're doing homework now. Like we work from home. But
Hmm.
either way, I'm in my own vehicle.
Hmm.
Tokyo, man, I would be afraid to ride the train. I would literally just stand there like with everything, not touch nothing. I'd be pretty
Yeah.
worried. Um,
And
and
people
then
have to go to work still. People have to go to work in
yeah.
the trains, right? Like for instance, my wife is an example. She goes to work still,
Oh my
right? And
God.
and she has to take the trains to go to work, which is, hey, But you're wondering why, but it's the company, right? So, um,
Yeah.
but you know what, man? Like, thanks for your story. And let's see, there's just one more thing. For those people who are watching right now and they are in the same position that you were in before coming to Japan, all right? You
Yeah.
said you gave up searching and on the dream temporarily for 2 weeks, which is good. Just for 2 weeks, you're like, okay, 2 weeks. You're like, nah, man, I gotta go for this thing.
Yeah.
Can you speak to someone who's in that position right now that you can say, you know what? Tell them something maybe or share something that you think would help them in the process, like to get over that hump and pursue what they want.
Mm, I feel like, so when I was going through that phase, to me, I feel like I want to live a life that's like I'm not afraid to take risks. So for somebody who's trying to get over that hump of like, should I do this jump? Is it the right time? I would say this, like, if you make the right preparations,
Hmm.
and typically they're financially, of course, like most of the times, your worst fear does not actually manifest. I feel like a lot of times people are overthinking, like, oh, if I go to Japan, like, I don't know, I'm gonna be on the streets homeless, right? But I notice typically, you're gonna do what you gotta do when you're thrown into a situation. Like, like if you're gonna be thrown into an extreme situation like that.
Hmm.
Okay, wait. So I guess that's what I'm trying to get to. Is like I feel like extreme situations make you work in extreme ways. Kind of like that whole coal under pressure kind of thing makes diamonds, that J. Cole lyric. But so like for me, the pressure of like, oh, like I'm gonna throw myself into this vulnerable state where I have to make it work. That
Yeah.
makes me work hard.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's kind of cool. Like, you know, you can say, oh, I'm not gonna apply to 100 jobs. That's too much work. But if you're thrown into a situation where you have to do it, you're gonna do it. And for the other person who's sitting there like, should I do this now? Especially if you're like around my age in your 20s, but even if you're not, I feel like life is worth taking those chances. 'Cause I like to see, like, what if it works, right?
Hmm.
Like, I'd rather at least know that I tried and failed than to not know at all.
Indeed. And what you're saying is about like it's about burning the bridges, burning the boats. Sorry, it's burning the boats, right? So it's like
Yeah.
they have this thing that they talk about when you go to an island, to fight a battle, and when you burn the boats, you know that the only way out is to win the war. So if you have an out, then you're gonna if there's a contingency. Usually people hop
Exactly.
on that, right? Because sometimes it might be wise to have contingencies, but sometimes it's better to not have an option or an out, and then you fight harder, right? So you know that
Kind of
look, I gotta do
calculated.
it or I die, pretty much, and you just gotta do it. So indeed, that does help a
Yeah.
lot as well. When you gotta do it, get it done, you'll get it done, right?
I
You're
think
hungry, you need some food, you get it done.
you will. You'll find a way. I think
You'll find a
somebody
way,
said,
bro.
like, maybe it was The Rock or somebody. They said, I don't make Plan Bs. It's only Plan A.
I think
Or
it's
else
Will
I'm a
Smith
fallback.
actually.
Was
Yeah,
it
it's
Will
Will
Smith?
Smith.
Yeah, it was Will
Yeah, Will
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make a Plan B. It depends on the situation, of course. You
Let,
know.
let's see if anyone has any questions because we're gonna wrap up. But let's see, guys. If you have any questions, just post them. Please, nothing too intrusive or personal because sometimes you guys will ask some questions like, "How much money do you make?" I saw that question, but I just ignored it. But just if you have any questions that you think you want to pose right now, I think now's the time. We'll give you guys a couple minutes, and then Steven can answer some questions.
That's
So
funny.
yeah, look, people always ask. Some people just ask some question. I'm like, y'all know, y'all shouldn't ask that. It's too personal.
That's funny. Um,
Oh God, are you seeing the comments? Or do you see them?
no, I'm actually. Wait, how do let me find the
You gotta
link
go
to
on.
it.
You gotta go on YouTube. But let's
Oh, I'm
see.
still on the streaming thing. Let me
Okay,
find it.
but let's see. Let me maybe read some. Age 30 plus.
Yeah.
Someone
Oh wait,
said
I see
30.
some. Okay.
Mhm.
Ah,
You see
this
the?
was on this whole time? What?
Yeah. So
Oh
someone was
wow.
asking. This person is 30 plus. They're asking, is it too late? It's never too late.
Not at
It's
all.
never
No.
too late. It's never too late. Come on, man.
I
Look,
didn't
as
see
long as
these
you're
comments
alive.
on this whole time.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
sorry.
were. Oh, yeah, we're alive. We're alive, right? So I told you we're alive.
I
So yeah,
didn't.
people were talking this whole
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah. Okay.
Look and see if
Hmm.
you see any questions that you want to answer. Okay, someone is
Okay.
asking, what do you do again? So tell them what you do.
Okay. So, I do like engineering technician work. So I work in a laboratory and I help develop the projects that connect humans to the experiment.
Okay,
I guess that's the vaguest way I could put it without
okay.
crossing over any lines.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you do, man, because like like from the beginning of your story, I remember. So to see it be made manifest and see the transition from English teacher to mechanical engineer, right? Which that's what you studied. To see that, and now you have this goal in mind to start a company, and you have this thing that you want to patent. I can't wait to see the fulfillment of
Dude,
that because I feel like it's coming.
I'm
It's
trying to
coming.
be the next dude. I'm trying to make a company. No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you this now. So if it
Hmm.
happens, you'll have it on record.
Yeah.
The end goal is to start a company that has a branch in Japan
Hmm.
and a branch in California.
Okay.
You
Okay.
heard
It's
it here
possible.
first. And when it comes, dude, one day I'll come back and I'm like, yeah, dude, I got my company together. It all
Yeah.
started. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I see the timeline, right? So I see it and everything that you spoke about, even if people go back right now. So guys, check the interview, the last one that we did. The link is in the description down below. You'll see Stephen talking about his plans, right? And now you're seeing the fulfillment of a portion of it. All right, you finally
Yeah.
landed the job, and now you're in Okinawa, right? Sunny, beautiful Okinawa. Let's see if we have any questions here again. Do you see any questions?
Yeah, some of them are funny.
Oh, okay. So someone just said. So I know that you're gonna do it. I know, like based on your mindset, I know you're gonna do it, bro. So
Thank you.
this
I
said,
appreciate it, dude.
no problem, man, no doubt. So this says, what does your family think about the move, and what do you miss the most so far?
Yeah, that's a good question because um, so at first my family they were supportive, but they're kind of like, all right, you could do it,
Yeah.
like. And the thing about it is, like, my family had faith in me because they saw how hard I worked in school. They
Hmm.
saw how hard I worked to move to California, and they knew I had the potential.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that they were a little worried that maybe Japan would be like, that's like, you going up to like a harder level. So of
Hmm.
course you expect harder work to get a job in another country. So I'm pretty sure they were a little worried.
Okay.
But once I showed them how hard I was willing to work for it, they were pretty like relaxed. And then once I told them about the job, they're like we don't doubt you anymore. It's like do your thing, do you. And I miss the most coming leaving from the United States is like shoot, truthfully, I think Chicago specifically. I miss Chicago food, deep dish pizza. Yeah, and my friends and family. Yeah, that's a big one right there.
Especially now, what about now? With COVID-19, what's the response like? Like, are they like reaching out, checking on you because you're in Asia, you're in Japan? Are they saying, "Are you okay?" What's that
Oh
like?
yeah, it was funny because at the beginning, when like
Hmm.
the virus was starting in China, Korea, and Japan, everybody was like, "Oh, are you okay? Like, should you come back to the United States? We're
Hmm.
safe here. Are you okay in Japan?" And I was telling them like, "Yeah, we're okay. No worries, taking right precautions." And then
Hmm.
now it's switched.
It's
The
reverse, right?
United States,
Hmm.
yeah. So now I'm calling my parents like, "Are you guys okay? Are you inside? Are you doing social isolation?"
Hmm.
Because from the sounds of it, the United States is definitely in a more extreme situation now than
Yeah.
Okinawa for sure.
Yeah.
So for people in the United States, be safe, stay in, and really make sure you wash your hands.
Yeah. Another question is, how did you overcome negative people or people that block you? People always want me to help, want me to help them, but they don't think to help me. Support and help goes both ways. So someone is saying that.
Oh yeah. So it's kind of like, why do some people just take and then some people reciprocate, right? So so here's the thing too that I heard this from Gary Vee. I think between like Gary Vee and Steve Harvey and some other people I listen to, but one thing that I kind of took from Gary Vee that he kind of nailed it on the head was
Hmm.
he says give without expectations.
Yeah.
He said pretty much what he does is he says give, ask. And if they say no, so be it. So when it came to that professor, I gave him my model without any expectations of like I
Mm.
just wanted to be legit like just nice. I had no expectations.
Yeah.
And like sure that doesn't happen all the time. I try to be really nice to people all the time. Some
Hmm.
people just say, "Oh, thanks for the money, thanks for this," and away they go. That happens all the time. But sometimes you run into a nice person
Yeah.
who really sees that, especially if you're giving them something like really, really valuable. And that's the thing is when you help people, are you helping them like are you actually giving them what they need or are you giving them what you think they need? Right? If you need help, like if I give you something that you don't need, to me I'm like, "Oh, I'm helping you." But to you you're like, "Oh, okay, I'll take it, but I don't need this."
Hmm.
So if you want to help people, make sure you're actually giving them what they actually need. And then
Indeed.
really don't have expectations of taking back. Just
Hmm.
try to be, I guess just try to figure out a way of how you can give without taking too much from yourself.
Hmm. Indeed, and sometimes if you give and you're expecting something back, you can be disappointed, and that can be discouraging. So it's usually better to give without that expectation because you can be disappointed, and more times than not, you will be.
Yeah,
It's like there are so many stories where when people receive, only a very small percentage will actually come back and say thanks. It's like it's all over. So it's a thing just to avoid being disappointed. Just be that person that just if you are giving, just don't expect a thing back, right?
yeah,
Um, for your mental health. So this person
yeah,
said,
that's for sure.
"Can I make it there with just my bachelor's degree?" Someone said that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so uh, it depends. Um, well, when they mean there, do they mean Japan or do they mean an engineering job? But I'll
Um.
assume they mean Japan, I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah, I think so too.
So yes. Um, so so if you're trying to teach English, the requirement is I think a bachelor's degree
Hmm.
or like some teaching certificate. I don't know the acronyms, but there's a teaching certificate. Those are
Is it like
the
like was it Tesla or I think that's what it's called,
some, it's
something like that.
something. It's
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm. Yeah, my wife might just text me what it is, but yeah.
Yeah. It's so
So
those are
usually
two.
that's the base. Yeah, that's the base, right? You need a bachelor's usually. It's like
That's
yeah.
to stay, to live, because
Mhm.
I think that's what Japan really does. They're very strict. They only want people who are working here with like bachelors or like
Yeah.
something,
It-
something that they need.
Yeah, there's some people who have a unique experience. Even on my channel, you guys can check out some of the interviews that don't have that, but because they have this unique circumstance, they're able to live and work in Japan, and even operate businesses as well. So that's also a possibility. But for English
Yeah.
teaching, usually the bare minimum is a bachelor's degree. To answer that question succinctly, someone else is asking, can you tell us about how you applied? Did you need to make any connections from home first? I think they're talking about the English teaching before. So you said you went online, you searched for a job. Some of them never wanted, you never got some, but you finally received a job eventually.
Hmm.
So maybe you could maybe provide the website if you want. And then someone is asking, how long were you teaching English before you made the transition to engineering?
Okay. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have a contract anymore. I don't know if I can legally talk about companies' names. I don't know, but
Okay, cool. Okay.
you can literally just Google. It's very simple. You can just go to Google and say like top 5 Japanese teaching companies,
Hmm.
and they'll send you a list of like pretty well known companies.
It's
And
that easy.
then
It is that
yeah,
easy.
look, that's what I did. I was just like, because I truth like I don't teach English in the United States. I was doing all engineering. So
Hmm.
I was like top 5 or 10 English teaching companies in Japan. I got a list of 5 of them. I went to each of their websites, how to apply, filled in the application, and away I went from there.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so that's how I did that. Uh,
So how long were you teaching English before you made the move? Was it like 6 months before you got the job, or how long was it? 1 year?
oh, for from English teaching to engineering.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess the timeline is I've been teaching English in Japan since January 2019.
Okay.
Um, and I guess I heard about the job opportunity, like he offered it to me 1 year after teaching.
Okay. Okay. So
So
about a year. So about a year, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Someone. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
No, it was just so I went to teach English without a timeline. I was just gonna go there until something worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So your plan was just to like do what you're doing while you're searching because you were being proactive because you were teaching English but you were still looking. You were still sending out
Exactly.
applications. You were still asking people. Someone said sometimes all you gotta do is ask, right? Ask it.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
let's see. Someone was asking if you studied in Japan, but you studied in the U.S., right?
Yeah, I got all my degrees in the United States.
Someone is asking as well, is your job hiring? What are the
Ah, I
requirements?
don't know, but I will say this: you have to have a graduate degree to work here. Like that's
At
the.
your engineering firm, at the
Oh
research
yeah, yeah,
institute.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
So let's
yeah,
see.
that's. I saw one comment. Somebody was like, "Oh, you're from Chicago." Like, I do miss the mild sauce. That's for the Chicagoans in there. I miss the mild sauce. I thought that was funny.
Okay.
But
Okay. Someone is asking, how is your level of Japanese? But we spoke about that. He's still, getting there in the beginning stages, right?
yeah, my Japanese is not that advanced. It's like I told you, like I failed the N5. so,
Yeah. So
so
some,
like,
yeah, yeah, because someone is asking, they're asking like, do you need a high level of Japanese to work outside of English teaching? And that's not always the case. Some jobs, you don't have to have it at that level.
yeah.
But I guess it's best practice just to have it, like to be more marketable, or to have more options. It's better
Oh
to have a
yeah.
high level of Japanese. But there are jobs that exist that it's not mandatory. Like yours, for instance, right? You said you're not required to speak Japanese where you are, right?
Right.
In the
Yeah.
company to work.
Yeah. 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 That's a very special. Like where I'm at, it's a very special case. Um, because the whole company revolves around Western style working in English. Because a lot of science journals are wrote in English. But if you want to do another job in, let's say, mainland Japan, Tokyo, Osaka, I mean, I gotta say, Japanese is needed. Like, remember, like, my initial plan was to study and pass the Japanese language proficiency test into. That was, like, I understood that Japanese was needed.
Yeah,
I just, I guess, got lucky that I found a job that didn't require Japanese.
yeah.
But I would say if you want to work outside of English, unless you know like maybe a professor from a university that you studied abroad with.
Hmm.
That's actually another thing. Universities. I think many people speak English. So see that's the thing. Like I had a friend, actually the same dude, Waylon, who
Hmm.
invited me over for vacation. He studied abroad in Japan and he was actually able to go back to Japan for a little bit to work at the same university he studied abroad at for like
Okay.
a month. And I mean, he knows a decent amount of Japanese though,
Mm.
but yeah,
So people
university.
should, so people should come prepared to study Japanese, and if they can, they should study while they are in their country. So it's like if you are in your home country right now, try to get a Japanese course, study as much Japanese as you can before you come, and when you come, be willing as well to study to get to a certain level of fluency. So that should
Yes,
always be the goal.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, so Stephen, like we're gonna conclude there. Unless you have any final thoughts, thank you so much for coming on, man. Anything else you want to share before we close?
Dude, you gotta come to Okinawa and visit, man.
No, I've been there. Remember, I was
Oh
there. I'm
yeah,
coming again. Yeah. So
oh back.
when I come, I'm coming again. But COVID-19 is slowing me down. But I'll be there, and then we can hang out or something. I can show you
Yeah,
some
man.
spots I discovered where I crashed my drone.
Oh, bro, dude,
I,
I'll show
no,
you
I,
some of the
I have the
places,
insurance.
man.
I got it back. I got a new one, so it's fine.
Come back,
Yeah.
dude. I'll pick you up in my car.
Yeah, no problem, man. So I'll be there. But any final thoughts before we go?
Final thought. So, for anybody who's thinking about taking some kind of risky behavior jump, it could be anything, not just Japanese related, anything.
Hmm.
Just really make sure you are ready to work for your dream. Like if you really want something, I should not have to ask you what, like are you working for it? Like I should just be able to see it every day.
Yeah.
I used to be studying English or Japanese every day. People weren't asking me like, "Oh, are you even working hard?" Like they just saw it. People shouldn't have to ask you if you're working hard.
Yeah.
So, you need to
Yeah.
really want it.
Yeah, because just to piggyback off that, it's like it's your dream, right? It's not
Yeah.
someone else's, and the truth of the matter is, no one is gonna work as hard as you can on your dream, right? So the onus is on the individual to put in the work, and I think if someone is willing to work hard to give everything that's required and be proactive, I think you can have whatever it is that you're going after, right? It's just the willingness to work and to
Yeah.
find out what's required and provide that. And Les Brown said, look, do the very best that you can. But if if your best is not good enough, do what's required,
Can I say
right?
one more thing real quick
Yeah.
too? Um, One thing I've also learned is really, really understand how powerful connections are. I just need to say that. Like, really understand how powerful that is. And
Yeah.
continue to learn how to be a very friendly person, how to know how to build relationships and to give into these relationships, friendships, coworkers. Because if you bring that energy to a relationship, ultimately people want you there. No matter
Mm.
what it is, they want you around. And that really helps you in the future as well.
Okay. All right, Stephen. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. All the best, right? And when you open that company, you start that business, because I know you will. Reach out.
I appreciate it, dude.
And we'll give them an update, right, to inspire
Yeah, man.
people
I'll
more,
hopefully invite you to my
right?
office one day. I'll be in like my big
Right?
desk one day. So
Right, right, right.
like
Yeah, we'll
sign up my
conduct the
desk.
interview right there. We'll conduct the interview right there, right?
Yeah,
Over tea or
man.
coffee, right in your office, bro.
That'd be sweet.
Right? But take care, Stephen, man. I appreciate it. Until next time.
Peace. You guys do
All right.
well.
All right, bless, bro. So, guys, that was Stephen, and again, we're gonna conclude there. If you guys want to see the initial interview that we conducted, right, to see the whole backstory and all that, check the description down below. There's a link to his, I believe it's 44-minute interview, something like that, like 44 minutes. So you guys can watch that interview right after this if you want, to get the details. And also, if you want to reach out to Steven, you can find him on Facebook. You got to search his name. Again, check the description down below. Yeah, so that was Steven's story, a very inspirational story, from, like before even coming to Japan, the uncertainties, taking a job that wasn't what he wanted to do, but he saw that as an opportunity to enter the country and, like complete, work on that contract, English teaching while he's searching for his job, and, being proactive as well, connecting with people. And finally, an opportunity presented itself, and now he's doing something that he really enjoys in his field. Sometimes people ask, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, but don't be too picky in the beginning. The most important thing is, if you want to come to a place, is to get in, you get a job. Whether you can also come as a student if you want to study something as well. So those are usually the two easiest. A job, usually you need a bachelor's degree, right, for the most part. But there are stories as well where people, hey, they made it happen without that. So that's also a possibility. But just bear this in mind, that a bachelor's degree is usually the bare minimum to enter and work here. And if it's not, if you, because some people say, look, I don't want to teach English. You don't have to, that doesn't have to be your entire existence or work life in Japan. You can start, and there are people who start teaching English. So don't scoff at English teaching. It can be your ticket, right? Start teaching English, and then from there you can move on. Don't feel as though you have to be pigeonholed in that thing. But people are. Some people are. But it's up to you, I think, to decide if you want to move on from that or not. And so if you're thinking about coming to Japan and you're an engineer or something else, or you're a doctor or something else, whatever it is, if you can't find exactly what you want, come here, work English teaching or something else, and then try to find the job that you want. It's possible. Stephen is an example, and he's one of many. Right, so that's the live stream for today, guys. Look out for more live interviews as well, right? As I said, going forward, there will be different things that we're going to be doing, on the live channel. This is not the official live streaming channel. Remember, the link is in the description down below, right? For the official BEJ live streaming channel. This is the main channel, and I'll be doing maybe a video once per week on this channel, just to remind you guys, a live video on this channel, just to remind you guys of the existence of the live channel. The link to that channel again is in the description down below. People are asking me, oh, you do these daily? I'm like, yes, we do, but not on the main channel. So be sure to subscribe to the live channel. The link is in the description down below. Someone is saying that English teaching is not that bad. No, I'm not saying it's bad, but some people have this thing about it. They feel like, oh, it's not like this prestigious job. But I'm telling people, change that mindset, right? Some people enjoy teaching English. Some people don't, right? Some people don't want to do it because they feel as though they want to do something else. And I interviewed a guy that He's a software engineer, and his initial thought was, I don't want to teach English, and he stuck it out, and he eventually got a job as an engineer, as a software engineer in Japan as well. So that happens, but I would say, look, man, if you just want to make it happen and you want to get on the soil, take that English teaching job. You got a bachelor's degree, apply, come on the soil, and then start your search again. Be proactive, right? You have to be proactive if you don't want to be stuck in just stuck teaching English. If that's not something that you want to do, right? So that's the message, guys. That's the talk. That's the interview. Thanks again to Stephen for coming on. Guys, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming on. We will be live again tomorrow at 10 a.m. JST on the live channel, not this one. This is the main channel, okay? All live content is on the live channel. Link is in the description down below. Thank you so much for coming on. Until next time, guys. Bye for now. Appreciate y'all. Take care.